IMAX is a really special format.
Roll camera! So here I come, folks, to the IMAX roaring in today to watch Brad Pitt in F1. This is what cinema is all about, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my god, what is going on here today with my mouse that keeps dropping all over the place? But of course, folks, Formula One, or F1 for short, starring Brad Pitt. I saw it yesterday at the London IMAX. And you're probably wondering, Kung Fu, why on earth are you wearing a Top Gun t-shirt? Well, it's actually a threefold reason. Number one, Top Gun Maverick, directed by Joseph Kosinski, also directed this film. Number two, produced by Jerry Bruckheimer. And number three, there's a callback to the very first Top Gun from 1986. Took your breath away? Well, it should, because this film did exactly what I wanted it to. And if you enjoyed this video and review today, folks, leave a like, smash that subscribe button, and let's get on with your Jeremy Clarkson Grand Tour opening titles.
What else is out there in the desert? Along with the gigantic eye, a massive nose. I know there's a pair of huge tits out there.
Watch this space.
The next half hour.
He brings you.
Now, there's something I want to get out of the way. Brad Pitt, I don't know how old this guy is, but I wonder if he signed a deal with the devil to remain eternally youthful. Put him next to Tom Cruise, it's not hard to see who's aged far better. I'm sorry, Cruise, you are a great dude, a great actor, but really, the good-looking, I'm still aged like a fine wine, all goes to Mr. Pitt himself. And honestly, when I watch him in this movie as Sonny Hayes, remember why I mentioned his name in my previous video? He is just awesome. Now, my complaint about this movie before I saw it was there are no grid girls. What happened to the Grand Prix chicks that we all loved and slathered over? Well, we did have Rush 2013, James Hunt, one of my all-time favorite racing car drivers, as portrayed by Chris Hemsworth, and it did cover that champagne lifestyle or that particular, shall we say, flamboyant person back in that era. So did we need it again for this movie? I still say yes, we could have had it, but whatever. This is F1. Sponsors galore, by the way. I will give you a test now. Well, actually I won't, because I'm actually going to reveal the name of these three sponsors. So I'm a sucker for luxury watches. Obviously Rolex is the headliner brand right here, followed by a brand I absolutely despise, Richard Mille. They are awful watches. And then on a more conservative taste and clarity, IWC. We have Mr. Sonny Hayes, as portrayed by Brad Pitt, or do we call him Bradley? Drives around in a beat-up van, meets up with Javier Bardem as the awesomely named Ruben Cervantes. We loved him in those fighting games called Soul Calibur, didn't we?
You'll feel this pain too!
I don't know if Mr. Javier Bardem was channeling the young Al Pacino from Dog Day Afternoon, or maybe from A Scent of a Woman. Hooah, yeah!
Arriva pure la gista, è vero. Questa. I'm out of order. You're out of order.
He was doing all that kind of stuff at the beginning. Like when they first meet, he and Sonny Hayes, it is actually really, really cool. And Javier Bardem just looks great.
Was who? Philippe Danselang, 56 years old.
You just Googled these names, didn't you?
I will say all the three male leads in this film, and that includes Damsan Idris, they've all got great hairlines. I mean, why do you think I wear a bandana? I'm immensely jealous of those three gentlemen. Now, I mentioned Mr. Idris as the last port of call, but not the last person I mentioned in this review. Now, of course, as soon as I saw his face in the trailer, and by the way, this film is also made by Apple, so you do see certain Apple aesthetics throughout the movie. At first I thought, okay, I get why they've cast this guy, but did we really need him? Him specifically? His demographic in his picture? Well, it turns out actually that it actually worked quite well, because when we first meet him, he's an absolute prick. You want to knock his eyes out. Even Sonny Hayes wants to do the same thing at first, and it's pretty antagonistic how these two go back and forth. But again, I will say with Joshua Pierce, as played by Idris, he's a bit of a mummy's boy. He goes back to his mum because he's bought her a lovely apartment in somewhere in London, I can't figure out where it is, to get sage advice from her because his father passed away. I'm assuming he used to be a racing car driver as well. So as the film plods along, and I mean that in a very kind way, definitely not the opposite how it comes across in my sarcastic delivery, you actually get to like Pierce quite a bit, and even by the end of the film he actually redeems himself, and I'm like, that's why they put him in the picture. I could even telegraph a couple of plot points in this film, why they were designed in a certain way and what the outcome was going to be. I'm not going to spoil that for you, but if you've seen the movie, you might know what I'm thinking about. Now, I know why you came here, Kung Fu. What about the racing scenes? Well, watch it in the IMAX. It's fantastic. I mean, it doesn't really put you in the cockpit seat of a Formula 2 car, but you get that dizzying feel that, oh, if I were in here, this is what it will feel like. And I say Formula 2 because those are the actual models of cars that Damson and Brad Pitt spent 6 months, I believe, in preparation work before they actually got out onto the course. Hats off to those actors, because I would be terrified as hell if I were asked to take on such a role. And I think out of the drivers, maybe Tom Cruise is possibly the slightly better on and off-screen driver compared to Pitt, but they have competed with each other on friendly terms before. Now, I did mention before Top Gun. Okay, we also had another great film from Tom Cruise back in the day called Days of Thunder, and you know that's getting a sequel. I mean, I love me some Cold Trickle, but could something be happening behind the scenes whereby, who knows, Joseph Kosinski might be recruited by Cruise to helm that sequel? Because I'll tell you what, if this sequel makes, or rather if this F1 movie makes $1 billion, I don't think it will quite get there, but given that it's following the same cut and paste formula of Top Gun Maverick, then it could have a good chance of actually getting there eventually. I predict it'll probably make around 850 to 900 million at the box office worldwide. I mean, it's a great poster. Brad Pitt is definitely one of the last great A-list stars that we do have. Oh, I've got to give a mention to Kerry Condon. I'm sure she got bullied a lot at school for that particular surname, as Kate McKenna. She's F1's first female technical director.
I knew nothing. All I knew was the champagne when they win. Yeah. That was the only reference that I had.
And that's it. I mean, she's a great character. She's not insufferable. She's not annoying. She's not nauseating. And when you actually hear about her job title, it's not spoken of as if she were a godlike figure. It's like, hey, you know what? I'm here and I just get on with shit. And I absolutely love that approach. Kerry Condon is a fantastic actress. You will remember her as Mike Ehrmantraub's daughter in Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. But honestly, the racing scenes are exciting. They checked all my chick boxes, or checked all my tick boxes when it comes to the racing courses. Obviously, Suzuka in Japan.
This is a section that you remember as a driver. It's fast, it's complex, it's risky, builds a lot of adrenaline, starts with turn 1.
The Baja racing at the end. Stick around for the end credits, folks, because, not a spoiler, but you're going to enjoy Bradley Pitt having a bit of fun when everything's done in the sun. Honestly, love this movie. I want to get all the collector's editions when it comes out. All the behind the scenes stuff is very fascinating, which I'm sure is going to be released this week on YouTube, given it's going to be the event movie for at least the next couple of weeks, and then I booked my ticket for Superman on the 11th of July, an 11 o'clock screening in the morning at the IMAX. The only seat I got left, and it was a pretty nice one. I'm not center stage, but it is what it is. And I paid far less for that than I did for F1. But if you want a good time, and if you want to be further educated about the culture of F1, I suggest you watch Drive to Survive, which does get referenced by name, and some of the cameos from that series also fleetingly appear here on Netflix. And yes, one of the producers I didn't mention on purpose is a Mr. Lewis Hamilton. Can you believe that? I'm guessing he was there because Damson Idris was also there to portray him in a way. And I've got to give a special shout out to Joshua Pierce's trainer in this film called Dodge, who's played by a gentleman called Abdul Salis. And I loved his interactions with Joshua Pierce. I wanted a bit more of that because it reminded me of Duke Evers, played by the late great Tony Burton in those Rocky movies. There was a feel of that in here actually. Oh, and by the way, why I wore the Top Gun t-shirt? Because yep, in 1986...
You can be my wingman anytime.
Bullshit. You can be mine.
A line quite similar to that pops up somewhere in the film, and I loved it. It was great. It's all about miracles happening. And again, I chime back to Sonny Hayes' philosophy, which is, I'm not here for the money. I'm just here because I love the craft of driving. And I'm here, folks, because I love being on YouTube. I'm not going to be a big timer. My subscribers will probably go up when I die, and well, that's Murphy's Law, right? But if you ended up enjoying this rather fuel injection filled review of F1 directed by Joseph Kosinski and starring Brad Pitt, Damson Idris, Javier Bardem, and Kerry Condon, make sure you give it a watch. Tell me what you thought in the comments below, and I will catch you catching me for the return of the next video.